Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tech for Seniors, episode 260, airing on March 31st. I'm Ron Brown, your enthusiastic host for today's exciting journey into the world of technology tailored specifically for seniors. We are thrilled to have you join us for this special episode, where we will explore a variety of topics designed to enhance your tech skills and knowledge. Whether you're a tech novice or looking to sharpen your existing skills, there's something here for everyone. So, grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let's dive into the wonderful world of technology together.
Bonjour à tous. Bienvenue dans l'épisode 260 de Tech for Seniors, diffusé le 31 mars. Je suis Ron Brown, votre hôte enthousiaste pour le voyage passionnant d'aujourd'hui dans le monde de la technologie spécialement conçue pour les personnes âgées. Nous sommes ravis de vous compter parmi nous pour cet épisode spécial, où nous explorerons une variété de sujets conçus pour améliorer vos compétences et vos connaissances technologiques. Que vous soyez un novice en technologie ou que vous cherchiez à aiguiser vos compétences existantes, il y en a pour tous les goûts. Alors, prenez votre boisson préférée, installez-vous et plongeons ensemble dans le monde merveilleux de la technologie.
Hola a todos. Bienvenidos al episodio 260 de Tech for Seniors, que se emitirá el 31 de marzo. Soy Ron Brown, su entusiasta anfitrión para el emocionante viaje de hoy al mundo de la tecnología diseñado específicamente para personas mayores. Estamos emocionados de que se una a nosotros en este episodio especial, donde exploraremos una variedad de temas diseñados para mejorar sus habilidades y conocimientos tecnológicos. Tanto si eres nuevo en el mundo de la tecnología como si quieres mejorar tus habilidades, hay algo para todos. Así que, toma tu bebida favorita, acomódate y sumerjámonos juntos en el maravilloso mundo de la tecnología.
I am Ron Brown, and this is Tech for Senior. So you're wondering what the heck is going on here. You remember last week when I did the voices of AI, when we were talking about those different voices that I created, I didn't show the avatar. And the reason I didn't show the avatar, because the software company we're using, TechSmith, to do this, it didn't work. And this Thursday they got it working. So now you can simultaneously translate the text into any language or a set of languages, but also create the avatar to actually speak the languages. So as you noticed, those avatars were speaking, the voice actually syncs to that. Now today you're going to see a recording that I've done with Jennifer, and I'm going to be simultaneously translating this into multiple languages, but I'll be using an avatar instead of using her, but I'll be using an avatar for her voice, and you'll see how it's going to be done. You'll see how easy it will be, but it's one click of the button, and it's pretty slick. It works really well. So I can see the future where we have an English edition, a French edition, a Spanish edition, and it just one click of the button and it'll just happen. So it's pretty cool. I know Mike says, no, we like real people better. Yes, of course, but it is an if you want to have a different edition, and as the avatars and all this gets better, which it will, I mean, this is just the first version 1, right? It's just going to get better and better. And then what Hewie and I, of course, believe is going to happen, we'll have our own avatars, and we will be able to retire, and we won't even be here. We'll just live on forever as the shows are made, right, Hewie? Where's Hewie? He's muted.
I was muted because somebody muted me.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Things are just
pretty cool,
becoming automated very quickly.
Very good. All right, we've got to get on with the show, but before we do, we have a huge show for you today. We'll probably be running over on this. Just let you know that the premiere version that we'll be playing at hour, I'm going to talk about 6G wireless networks. Bill James is going to talk about fun facts with your Mac, and Professor Bob is going to talk about quantum theory. So if you want to learn all about quantum theory, it will be again at hour, and that's our premium videos for educational video. Bob, do you want to take it away?
Here is my Tech Talk and Beyond for the week ending March 28th, 2025. This week's topic, the rise of deepfakes. Can you trust what you see anymore? Imagine a world where seeing isn't believing, where videos of world leaders declaring war or celebrities endorsing dubious products are as easy to produce as a meme. Welcome to the era of deepfakes, a technological marvel that's as fascinating as it is frightening. What exactly are deepfakes? Deepfakes are synthetic media videos, images, or audio recordings that use artificial intelligence to fabricate events that never occurred. By leveraging deep learning techniques, particularly generative adversarial networks, GANs, these creations can superimpose one person's likeness onto another's body or manipulate their speech by saying things they never did. The term deepfake itself is a portmanteau of deep learning and fake. How do deepfakes work? At the heart of deepfake technology lies the GAN, Generative Adversarial Network, a type of neural network architecture. A GAN consists of two components, a generator and a discriminator. The generator creates fake data, while the discriminator evaluates its authenticity. Through its adversarial processes, the generator improves, producing increasingly realistic media. In simpler terms, it's like having a forger and a detective in a never-ending duel, each pushing the other to get better. Applications: the good, the bad, and the ugly. While deepfakes have legitimate uses in entertainment and education, such as bringing historical figures to life or dubbing films without losing the actor's original performance, their potential for misuse is alarming. Political manipulation. Imagine a video of a politician making inflammatory statements just days before an election. In 2018, separate deepfake videos surfaced showing Argentina's president Mauricio Macri as Adolf Hitler and Angela Merkel's face replaced with Donald Trump's, highlighting the technology's potential for political misrepresentation. Fraud and scams. Deepfakes have been weaponized for financial gain. In 2019, fraudsters used AI-generated audio to impersonate the CEO voice, convincing a subordinate to transfer 220,000 euros to a fraudulent account. Misinformation. The rapid spread of deepfakes can erode public trust. For instance, a deepfake video of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky appeared in 2022, falsely showing him urging his troops to surrender, aiming to sow confusion and lower morale. The future of misinformation. As deepfakes become more sophisticated, distinguishing fact from fiction will become increasingly challenging. This blurring of reality has profound implications. Erosion of trust. When any video or audio clip can be fabricated, the default reaction may become skepticism, even towards genuine content. This liar dividend allows wrongdoers to dismiss real evidence as fake. National security threats. Deepfakes can be used to manipulate public opinion, interfere in elections, or incite violence, posing significant risk to national and global stability. Personal harm. Individuals can be targeted with fabricated compromising material, leading to reputational damage, emotional distress, or blackmail. So, can you trust what you see anymore? In this digital age, a healthy dose of skepticism is essential. While technology companies and researchers are developing detection tools, the rapid evolution of deepfakes means that these measures are always playing catch-up. There are some tips to navigate this new reality. Verify sources. Always consider the credibility of the source. Reputable news organizations are less likely to distribute deepfakes without clarification. Look for inconsistencies. Deepfakes often have subtle glitches, unnatural eye movements, inconsistent lighting, or mismatched lip syncing. Stay informed. As technology evolves, so do detection methods. Keeping abreast of the latest developments can help you spot potential deepfakes. In conclusion, while deepfakes present exciting possibilities for creativity and innovation, they also usher in an era where seeing is no longer believing. As consumers of digital content, it's our responsibility to approach what we see and hear with a critical eye, ensuring that truth prevails in the age of artificial manipulation. Imagine a world where seeing isn't believing, where videos of world leaders declaring war or celebrities endorsing dubious products are as easy to produce as a meme. Stay safe, stay secure, and welcome to the era of deepfakes, a technological marvel that's as fascinating as it is frightening. You'll find the video used in today's Tech Talk at the link listed. Did you know PCs went by the name of electronic brains in the 1950s? A fear of long words is called hippopotamustrosis-pipedaliophobia. The human circulatory system is more than 60,000 miles long. Actor Michael Keaton's birth name is actually Michael Douglas. But because of the already famous actor Michael Douglas and the daytime host Mike Douglas, he adopted the stage name Michael Keaton to satisfy the Screen Actors Guild rules and distinguish himself. Just knowing you don't have the answer is a recipe for humility, openness, acceptance, forgiveness, and an eagerness to learn. And those are all good things. Thanks to Dick Van Dyke. Nothing takes more guts than stating that you don't know, but it's the right thing to do, and will earn you more respect than making up an answer. Something AI still needs to learn. Thanks to yours truly. And that's a wrap for this week's Tech Talk and Beyond. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye, and thanks for reading, watching, and listening.
Thanks, Bob. It is going to get harder and harder, isn't it, to figure out what's true and what isn't. As I said, what I showed you now with the avatars and what I can do to even make things happen is really, really incredible. So you're right. It's going to be
Until the avatar is you actually doing it,
Yeah.
lip-synced everything in a different language.
Yeah,
That'll really confuse people.
that's right. All right, let's get on with it. Well, good morning and welcome back to the channel. I'm Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. This is March 30th when I'm recording this. Well, I can tell you, next week on April the 2nd, my two grandchildren in Adelaide are going to be so excited. It's like Christmas again. Also, my grandchild in Addis, Ethiopia, is equally excited, as are all the kids around the world. What is so exciting about April the 2nd next week? Well, it's when Nintendo's new Switch 2 will be available for pre-order. This is a big deal. Now, I understand if you're watching this, you're likely a senior. You probably don't do gaming, and you even maybe think this is a bad idea for kids. But this is an event that is big news, and most kids around the world will want a Switch 2. Now, as grandparents, I thought I would put together a video that would help you understand this and maybe make some recommendations on games that you could buy for your grandchildren that will likely end up getting one of these devices. Now, I've enlisted my daughter, who's an international educator. She's taught in Japan, New Zealand, Singapore, China, and is currently in Africa. She's an internationally recognized speaker and has been kind enough to give us a short review of the Switch and also some games and how these games are played. So let's see what Jennifer has to say.
So I'm here to talk about Switch games. If your family or grandchildren or anybody you know has a Switch, I'm here to offer some tips on things to look for if you want to get a new game. So first of all, I would say my family were not really into video games before we got the Switch. But then I also asked some friends of mine who had Switches with older children what they thought. And after my very brief survey of my few friends, everyone said the Switch is unlike the gaming experience you remember as a kid. And even though they all felt the same as me, they all didn't have video games, and then they bought the Switch, they said, we promise you'll have fun. And we became total converts once we brought the Switch into our lives. But with that said, we were very selective on the kinds of games that we chose to get started with. So our son was 4.5 when we first bought the Switch. And so the types of games we first started off would be games that I call collaborative games. So these are games where you can have multiple people play together. So if you know what the Switch looks like, it's got the black middle piece, and then it has the two pieces you use to play games on either end. So the fun thing about the Switch is those come off, and then I can have one, my son can have one, and we had extra controls so that my husband can play, and then we bought extra controls so that when our son's friends came over, they could play as well. And what the collaborative games are is they are games, when you enter the game, you play it together. So the goal of the game can only be achieved by playing collaboratively. And so this was how we first started. So we had the classic Mario Kart. There's a game called, I think, Mario Party. And another one was called Overcooked. Yeah, so when we first bought these games, we loaded them up and played them, and they were really, really, really fun. They're set up to be easier to play, but I guess the whole point is that while you can play them by yourself, they're designed to have multiple players play at the same time. And also the fun thing is when Julian had friends, if they had their own controls, they could come over, and I think through Bluetooth, they join up onto the Switch and they could play as well. So that's how we started. All the games we played together were games that we played as a family. So if you were to go and buy someone in your life a Switch game, that might be something you think about first, is what kind of game you want to play. You might want to talk to the parents to see what they're interested in. But that was definitely a fun way to start our video game experience. And then we had family game night. And yeah, so that was the collaborative games is number one. The other thing I should add is you can have the hard card for the game, or you can download games. So so you have to decide whether or not you download a game or you buy the card. So that's two ways of purchasing the games. So I talked about collaborative games. The next games I would say we got into were I would call them adventure games. So the one that is still to this day the most popular is called, one is called Zelda. So there's Zelda Breath of the Wild and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Animal Crossing. It's called Animal Crossing. And so what these games are, these are not multiplayer games. These are adventure games. And so your character has a story and a plot, and you've got to travel along. There's usually side quests that you can go on that lead you a little bit away from the main quest. And we got our son into these when he was a bit older than maybe just after 5 years old. The fun thing about side quests, even if you can't play them multiplayer, is the community around them. So our son is a Zelda geek, and he's got a few other friends who play Zelda. And when they get together and talk about Zelda, they just know about the characters. There's a whole other language that they learn about. And I have to say, I don't mind him playing so much of this on his own, because it's almost like he's involved in a movie. So I would say the two Zeldas, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, are phenomenal. And then Animal Crossing is another adventure game, but it's directed towards younger children. And then this year, Luigi's Mansion, I think, came out. And that's what we got our son this year for Christmas. Thinking it was multiplayer, but it's not. It's an adventure game that he plays by himself, so we were a little bit sad about that. But again, it's another game where he's got a plot, a goal, and he goes along the storyline. And now with the way the games are set up, like when you start these games, there's often 20 minutes of just intro of how to use the controls. So it really does work for the younger kids, and they really get into it. There's one more game I would say that is pretty fun too, or a type of game. This is called Splatoon. Splatoon is a game where if there's another player who owns it and they're in a different place, then you can join and play together. So we live in Ethiopia, and our son has Splatoon, and his cousins in Australia have Splatoon. And so they can join the game together and play in the game together. So it's not multiplayer in that if myself or my husband want to join, we can join with him. We can't do that. It's only multiplayer when both parties have the game. But that is another fun type of game. If you've got grandchildren in different places, then that would be a fun game to investigate, a kind of game to investigate so that they can play together. Oh, another multiplayer game that's very popular is, of course, Minecraft. If you know Minecraft, we used to just have it on the iPad. Now we have it on our Switch. And again, all of Julian's friends come over, and the screen splits into different quadrants, and then they can do Minecraft missions together. So that's some general things to think about with Switch games. So just to review, you can have collaborative games, what I call collaborative games, where everyone plays together with a common goal. And those are Mario Party, Overcooked, and Mario Kart. There's another one that's fun. It's called Untitled Goose Game. That's for 2 people, I think. So those are collaborative multiplayer games. The next one are adventure games. Typically, these are not multiplayer, but they're still really fun. You just need to maybe check the age levels and what your children or whoever you're buying it for, what they're interested in. So these are the Zelda games and Animal Crossing. And then the last one I suggested was Splatoon, which is a type of game where if you have multiple sets of the game in different locations, then people can join together and play the game together, which is also kind of fun. So those are my tips on purchasing games for the Switch. Of course, if you're buying it for somebody and if there's parents involved, I would ask them what sort of games the kids are into. We always do a lot of research before buying the games just to find out level of difficulty and reviews. Oh, one more game that is another multiplayer game that's really fun is Nintendo Sport. On Nintendo Sport, you can play bowling, volleyball, basketball, golf. There's a sword fighting one, and that's another fun one. So yeah, so those are my tips on Switch games, what to look for, and things to consider when you buy.
All right. Excellent. So, Hewie, I think you're up. Unmute yourself.
I keep forgetting to do that. I didn't know Snagit could do that. I'm Hewie Poplock. One of the features that I really like about Snagit, and I use quite a bit, is one as we bring down here, it's called scrolling capture. And I'm going to show you that by bringing up my email. Okay, so we're going to now, so to show scrolling capture, we bring down the start of Snagit. I click scrolling capture, and now it wants me to outline the area in which I want to capture. We're going to do this. We're going to come down to about here. When I let go, that's the area. You'll see it says done and scroll vertically, so we need to scroll. Oh, we'll scroll down quite a bit here. And then say done. Now it opens up the editor screen. You'll see that it's much more than one screen. There are several things that we can do. One of them is to save as. We can save as many different formats, but let's go ahead and take JPEG. When we save that, takes a second, and we can see it here. Whoops. We can see it here. We'll take a look at it in just a moment, but we're also going to go back, minimize this, and let's go ahead and tell it to do the same thing. And scrolling capture, and I'm going to go to the top and then do a scrolling capture, and again outline it, bring it down to about here, and then scroll and scroll some more. I'm going to bring it down just a little because I want to show you a couple of things I can do with it. So we're going to go ahead and say done. And now we're back in the editor. You will see that if we scroll down, there's plenty of information there. Now, as you recall, when I got all the way to the bottom, let's say I didn't want the last two. Well, I can go like this and bring it up, and they no longer are there. And let's say I don't want these two either. So we'll bring it up to here, and they're gone. But the rest of it is there. So now we're going to do a file and save as. This time we're going to save it as a JPEG, and we're going to say save. Now let's do it one more time and say file and save as. We're going to save it as a PDF, and then go ahead and tell it to save. and it's now saved. So let's take a look at those two files to see what it did. A PDF, and we have two JPEGs. Let's look at the JPEG first, and you can see it's one long file. Let me move it over a little bit here. It's one long JPEG. Now we could divide it up so it will fit on the page, or we can make it, it's two columns. So we can make the choice as a JPEG how we want to divide it. But let's take a look at the PDF. Because it's a PDF, it automatically paginates for us, so we have no control over that. It even divides one of them because it doesn't fit on the page. So that might not be the way we want to do it, except with as a PDF, we might be able to go in and edit some things, where as a JPEG, you're not going to be able to do that. This next item I'm going to show you is new to the 2025 version of Snagit. It's been around now for a couple of months, but it is something that I really think is something that it can be very useful to most of you. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you what we need. Well, we're going to go to this screen. We're going to say we want image. Instead of region, which is where it's normally at, we're going to change it to steps, which is brand new. Then we have to make sure that the other two items are set to none. And we're ready to capture. When I click capture, it's going to give me capturing steps, and I'm going to click a stop button to end it. What we're going to do is we're going to look at, we are now in the Sarasota Technology User Group's channel on YouTube, and we're viewing it. But what we want to do is we want to switch accounts. So we click there, and then we want to switch it to my account, and then come up here and view the channel. So it changes. So those are the 5 steps that I want to show you. So I'm going to stop it now. And you're going to see here in the preview what we've captured. And you'll see that step 1, and then it shows you in a yellow circle what we captured. So we have that. Then we go to the second screen, and that's where we told it to switch accounts. Third screen, we told it to switch it to my account. Capture 4, we click on my picture, and there we tell it to view the channel. Those were our 5 steps. Now we can save as, and this time we're going to save it as a PDF. We're going to call it step by step 2, because I think I have another copy of it somewhere. So we'll do that. We'll tell it to save, and we now have a file out there. So let's go take a look at it, and we're going to go to step by step 2, go to the top. If we wanted, we could have it recognize text, but we'll just close that. Right now, we're looking at step 1, and there's a picture of it. There's step 2, again with the yellow circle showing us where to click. Step 3, where to click. Step 4, where to click. And step 5, where to click. We can send that file to somebody, and they will have a sample of what they need to do to be able to change accounts in YouTube. If you're showing information to someone, you don't want them to see all of the information, but you want them to have an idea of what you're talking about, you can blur, or you can hide some of that information. There are various ways to do it using Snagit. The one I've used the most is called blurring. You click on blur, and then take, say, the last names, and you blur each of them out. Now you can also pixelate a column, and let's say we want to take these, and these are pixelated now. So that's one way in which you can block out certain information. Now let's go ahead and clear that. You can do a smart redact, and if we do that, it only redacts certain information. It's going to redact the street address and the phone number, but the other information is still there. There's no way to turn that on. We probably could blur something, but it's a lot more work. So I don't think we'd want to do that. Let's go ahead and clear that. Let's go ahead and move to some other data. Go to the emails that we captured earlier. There, we're going to do a smart redact. Let's see what it does here. So that didn't do anything because there's nothing there for it to redact. So we'll go ahead and say done. But now what we're going to do is we're going to go to simplify. We're going to turn that on. When we do, it does almost the same kind of thing. What we can do here is we can say, let's say all of the ones from with the Y, we're going to delete that information cover up. So we can show that, and then everything else will stay covered, and then we can talk about those two items. So you can use simplify or blur. You can turn things on, you can turn things off, depending upon how much of the information and what that information is to protect the information and to protect the people that are involved in the information that you're sharing. I don't often have a need for this, but when I do, it really comes in handy in Snagit. And that is the move function. So we've got move here, and when we click on it, it gives us the tool properties, and we're going to turn on smart move. So identifying different items, let's go ahead and take this item and let's move it. Not only did it move it, but it filled in the area that it took from. And then let's take this and move it over here, and then let's move this back up here, take this, move it here, and take the arrow, move it here, swing it around in that direction. We now have a fixed image that we wouldn't otherwise be able to edit easily without opening up Photoshop and finding the different levels and moving things around. This way, it identifies the different items and you can move them as you need. There you go. Lots of things you can do with Snagit.
Amazing, amazing. I use it all the time. It's my favorite program to use. I often get caught when I'm doing making videos, and particularly if I have email in there, I need to block it out, and it's a pain in the butt blurring it all the time. But that's a great feature. I didn't know that. And then you can just undo the ones that you want to use. That is so cool. Yes, thank you for doing that. That's a great video. And speaking of great videos, I want to thank Drew for doing this next video for us. And again, anybody who is interested in doing some presentations, just work with us and we'll help you get them uploaded and get it organized for you. So thank you again, Drew, for doing this. I know you've done other ones for us, but this is a very good video. Let's see what Drew has to say.
Hi, this is an introduction to portableapps.com, a website dedicated to the installation and operation for you of applications that you use every day that are in a portable format rather than being installed on your computer. And why would you want portable software? Well, one thing is for keeping work and personal use separate. For those of you who are retired or only have one computer, you may not find much of a need for this, although there is a surprising amount of software, and I'm sure that all of you are going to find at least a couple of programs that you are interested in, that you maybe didn't even know existed. You can run your standard browsers, you can run Office software, and you can run your software from a cloud drive, a flash drive. You can install them locally on your PC or on an external drive. I have mine installed on a flash drive that happens to be an SSD. And what you do is you download their free installer, and you run the installer software, and it will install, you follow the instructions. And the every PC that you run it on will feel as though it's your own PC, because you'll have your documents and your applications, your bookmarks, your settings. You can be on a cruise ship or in a hotel business office and use their computer to edit your software and your documents without putting anything on their computer or using anything on their computer. If you're using a shared computer, like one in a hotel, maybe you want to log on and check your mail. Well, don't use their web browser, use yours. Put it on a flash drive or on the cloud and run your version of Firefox or your version of Chrome on a computer that you don't know. How much does it cost? It's free. There's no cost. There's no catch, no registration, no malware, and no accounts that you have to create. To be honest with you, I don't know how this website maintains itself. Anyway, that's the website. When you download the software, it downloads a program called portableapps.com platform setup, and you run that. And I created a directory on my flash drive called ℸportable, and it has the portable apps folder, which has all the software in it, a folder for my documents, and a start menu. And if I click on the start menu, it will bring up this menu right here, and I can move it around on the screen. And you'll see that I have all these different categories of software already installed on my computer. Down here it tells me how many free gigabytes I have out of total. I've got 146 gigs free out of 954. Here's my documents, my videos, my pictures, and here's where I would install more applications. If I want to, like for example, under development, I've got Notepad++. Under games, I've got a solitaire game. Graphics and pictures, I've got some software. Under internet, I've got Firefox and Google and Opera. If none of you have seen Opera run before, this is what Opera looks like, running from a flash drive. And there you are. And you can go and do what you want to do. And that's all there is to it. Yes, I want to quit Opera. And I'm going to go back to the start menu, and under Office, I've got all the LibreOffice software. So no matter where I go, I have my LibreOffice. One of the, and then I added under other, Discord and WaterFox. Under security, I've got my KeePass password manager, so I can run my password manager from a flash drive anywhere I am. And under utilities, I've got the software program Everything, Yummy, pzip, Explorer++, CC Cleaner. Under apps, you can check for updates. This program, when you run it, will check for updates to see if there's any available updates. And that's not just to the Portable Apps program itself. That's to all of the software that you've installed. So when you install all this software, it's going to keep it all up to date for you. When I get more apps, I can get them by category, by title, new releases, or recently updated. I'm going to choose category as an example. And here is the list of software. I apologize for the tiny font. There's nothing I can do about it. There are development software programs, education programs, games, all kinds of games that you might be interested in playing. They have graphics and picture programs. You can run GIMP off of your external drive if you want to. They've got all kinds of software. PicPic is a good program. There's, in the internet category, they've got all these browsers and internet type software programs. Thunderbird email, Zoom. You can even run Zoom meetings. So you could be at a public computer and run Zoom off of someone else's computer. It's got Audacity and all kinds of video and audio programs. This is where all of the Office software is. My Joplin note-taking program is in here. Security software and utilities. It's got all this neat stuff in here. Look at this. Tons and tons of software. So look through the list, go through by category, go through alphabetically, and pick out some stuff and give it a try. You'll be surprised at how good it is and how useful it is. I can run, this is how long it takes me to bring up LibreOffice Writer from the flash drive. Takes a few seconds running from a flash drive. And this is my first time running LibreOffice Portable since I last upgraded it, so it might be going through some updates. And there it is. So now that I've run it once, if I run it again, it'll run faster this time. If I go into Writer, it'll come up faster now. There we go. See? It was doing some stuff in the background that it needed to do. So anyway, this is an introduction to portableapps.com.
Thanks, Drew. Excellent, excellent presentation. I'm sure there'll be some comments and questions in the Q&A. All right, let's get on to our next presentation.
Now here is a fun one, Magic Editor. It can do erasing just like Magic Eraser, but it can do so much more. I'm going to show you some examples of using Magic Editor. I know I'm short, but this picture makes me look like a toy. So you tap on the edit. I am going to use the Magic Editor. That's this green, blue, purple, it keeps changing button right there. And I can just tap on me. Notice how I get highlighted. I could erase me, but no, that's not what I want to do. So I tap and hold, and now I can do I can move me around, or with 2 fingers, I can make me bigger. That might be a little bit too much. And then it's the right arrow that says, okay, make that so. That's more like it. It does give me some other choices to see if it did it better in a second try, but that one's fine. I tap the check mark and save copy. For this picture, I think we should be closer together. Edit, Magic Editor. I'll tap on Jim. Oops, that just got his hand. So I need to refine the selection and add. There. Now I can touch and hold. No, I have to say done now that I've added more area. I don't want to erase him. Touch and hold and move him over. And do it. I like it. I tap check mark and save a copy. For this one, I want the horse on the hill to be bigger. Edit, Magic Editor, tap the horse, touch and hold, and then this can be really tricky. I need to get 2 fingers on that horse in order to make it bigger. There, I got it. It can be done. And that's good. I say do it. But Magic Editor can do more. Notice that after I tap the check mark, I still have the Magic Editor button. So that's saying there's more that it could do with this. It can make adjustments to the sky. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Or that one, or that one. So it gives me a few, and I can even tap to get more results, but I like that one. Check mark. Save a copy. And I've saved the coolest one for last. This is a picture of a banyan tree in my neighborhood that I just think is special. Magic Editor. And I don't want to move anything around, so I'm going to tap Magic Editor again. And notice how it offers me stylized. What is that? It turns it into a work of art with several different choices. Wow. And I could even get more choices. Oh, I like that one. It turned that one hard root into a little waterfall. So I'll check mark and save a copy. Play around with Magic Editor. It's fun.
Use the stylized. Try the stylized feature. It's really cool. Yeah, I use that a lot, and you can make some really neat stuff. All right. Before Mike starts his presentation, I just want to say goodbye to all those over on YouTube. Remember that we do have our premiere version coming up at ℏ and also our Thursday show. If you want to pop over and participate in the Q&A, would be happy to have you in our meeting. Let me just stop the live stream, and then we'll get Mike to. Here we go. Mike, you should be able to go ahead. You should be able to share your screen and take it away.
Okay, good afternoon, folks, or I guess afternoon here. Let me just find my Word document. So today my presentation is on Randy Travis, kind of. I'm really going to actually talk about some AI and something that was in the news about a year ago when the Hollywood writers' strike was on. One of their concerns was the use of AI in taking away their jobs. So I'll get back to that in a minute. First of all, Randy Travis, for those who are not aware, was born Randy Bruce Taywick on May 4th, 1959 in Marshville, North Carolina. He's a celebrated American country and gospel music singer, songwriter, and actor. Known for his rich baritone voice, he played a pivotal role in the neo-traditional country music movement of the 1980s. His debut album, Storms of Life, in 1986, was a massive success, selling over 3 million copies and earning him widespread acclaim. Throughout his career, he released numerous hits, including Forever and Ever Amen, On the Other Hand, Three Wooden Crosses. He's won multiple awards, including 7 Grammys, and been inducted to the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2016. The significant part is that in 2013, he suffered a near fatal stroke, significantly impacting his ability to speak and sing. Despite, and I'm just going to get so I can see here, these challenges, he continued to inspire fans with his resilience and even explored using AI technology to recreate his voice for new music. And those are the 2 videos I'm going to show today. One is a clip here, it runs about 5 minutes, on how they used AI to take his past voice recordings and be able to take that and put it on a donor voice and create a new recording. And the second video is that new recording. So Ron, if you play the first one there now, we'll take it away. And that's not a deep fake.
No, that's an amazing story. That's incredible, Mike. Thanks for doing that. That is a very, very incredible story, for sure. All right. We are going to be opening this up to our Q&A in a moment, but I want to just, if you have to take off and run, please remember we have our premiere video coming up at ℏ I'll be talking about 6G wireless networks. Bill James is going to talk about fun facts with your Mac. And Professor Bob is going to talk about quantum theory. So all happening at 1/2 past. And of course, remember that this video will be the recording. This recording will be up on the site this afternoon, so you can replay it if you want any particular part of those sections.